Good morning, beloveds. A bit of a long day yesterday, but the end of it was really good. The soul session was amazing. It's always fun when you talk to somebody who's found their passion, and Cleo has definitely found her passion. It was incredible. It is up on Facebook. It is up on YouTube, but I don't think I've shared the YouTube link, so I'll go and do that so that y'all could share the link, because she had some really good information and some interesting, it was incredible. All right. It is January 19th. Our title is Handling Bad Dreams. The first quote is, "Neither hearken to your dreams which ye cause to be dreamed." Jeremiah 29:8. Treatment straightens out consciousness by clear thinking, and that is Science of Mind, page 236. Let us consider the problem of bad dreams in relation to the principle that all thought is creative, but realize that not every thought we think is in agreement with the truth or the nature of God indwelling us. The dream world is the world of our unexpressed thoughts. It is we ourselves who often populate this realm with wrong ideas and thoughts we have nurtured. Then we are plagued in our dreams with these phantoms of negation. Our first step towards healing this problem is to realize that we cannot avoid being exposed to unpleasantness in this world, but we need not react to it emotionally or make it part of our mental household. Since we build our whole experience on the ideas we accept with emotion and conviction, we should be constantly discriminating and giving our attention only to those ideas which attest the perfection of God in us. Instead of accepting, then repressing a negative idea, let us take a good look at it in the first place, make our decision, and say no. As we acquire this honest and straightforward habit, we will know greater self-assurance, for we will be in charge of our own thoughts, memories, and dreams, and our mental household will be cleansed. I know that when I choose to accept and express ideas of good, my life reflects the qualities of God. Therefore, I choose thoughts of joy, peace, harmony, health, abundance, and success. I am filled with peace at all times. Waking or sleeping, I experience only the good. And that is CC. That is Craig Carter. All right. So he was very clear in there, and I'm going to go back to that middle paragraph because that's where all the meat in this one is. We have a tendency we say thoughts are creative. We do not say all thoughts are creative. We say all thoughts can be creative, but here's where the creativity comes in when we wrap emotion around it. Thoughts wrapped in emotion are creative. That is that is the founding principle of how treatment works. Thoughts wrapped in emotion are creative, which is one of the reasons why it's always a good idea when you are very emotional to take a good look at your thoughts. What are you thinking? So what he's telling, and when he's talking about bad dreams, what your dreams are is you processing it's you subconsciously processing your conscious world. So when you're having bad dreams, nightmares, things like that, it's like, what have you been feeding your head? The books you read, the movies you watch, the conversations that you have, the news being a big one, the people that you talk to, all of these happen in your conscious life, and then your subconscious mind has to process them, and it does so in dreams. So if you find yourself having bad dreams or nightmares, it might be a good idea to go back and look at what you're feeding your head, and then to take a look at, again, what thoughts you are having when your emotions are running high. If a thought that is wrapped in emotion is creative and you find yourself caught by a strong emotion, and I'm not going to say that they're positive or negative. That's for you to decide, because anger can be both. So those kind of thoughts tend to be very creative. And so it's a good idea to check yourself. Now, when you are caught in a strong emotion, it's hard to check yourself, which is why you want to do the work beforehand. I've talked about weeding your garden before, and that's kind of what this is about. And that's what Craig is suggesting, weeding your garden. It's like you be discriminating with the ideas that you let in your head. Why discuss something that is not healthy for your emotional state if you don't have to? And that's what he's talking about. So let's see. Okay, I'm going to go back to that second paragraph. Our first step towards healing this problem is to realize that we cannot avoid being exposed to the unpleasantness in this world because we face facts. Now, the facts that we are facing is not the truth, because there is a big T truth behind the facts that we are facing. But, we can't avoid the facts. There is stuff that happens in this world that we really wish wouldn't. And we have to work towards or away from that, depending on what direction you're coming at it. So we can't avoid the unpleasantness that can happen in this world. However, we need not react to it emotionally or make it part of our mental household. Right there. That's what he's telling you. It's like, okay, look, when you are faced with something that is unpleasant, you do not need to react to it emotionally. That is where that cool, calm, collected intellectual can serve you. It's like you can look at the emotional part of yourself and say, okay, we're going to deal with this, but you don't need to be involved with this. All right. And we don't need to make it part of our mental household. So that's one of the reasons I was like, okay, sometimes we have to discuss ideas that we'd rather not. And when we do that, we want to do that with as little emotion as possible. But we also don't want to chew them over. We don't want to keep coming back to and having a discussion that is unpleasant and make it part of our mental household. Because once it becomes that, then it's harder and harder and harder to keep the emotion out of it. Since we build our whole experience on the ideas we accept with emotion and conviction, we should be constantly discriminating and give our attention only to those ideas which attest to the perfection of God within us. So it's like, yes, you may occasionally have to have an unpleasant conversation, but that's it. Once you have that conversation, that's it. Don't continue to chew it over. It's like watching the news. It's like, okay, bad stuff happens, but then I'm not going to sit there and discuss all of the bad things that have happened with anybody that walks into my field of vision, because that's just cementing it into my mental household. And every time I do that, it gives me more and more opportunity to wrap emotion around it, which is exactly what I don't want to do. Okay. So all thoughts can be creative. The thoughts that are creative are the thoughts that we wrap emotion around. And it doesn't matter what emotion. So all those times you get really angry, those thoughts are creative. Now, when you are really angry, are you righteously angry? And are you working towards fixing whatever the unpleasantness is? All right. That's helpful. Okay. But are you angry and just being angry and not focused on the solution, then you are simply creating more of what you don't want. So, and that's what Craig is talking about. So it's like, all right, so weed your mental garden. When you catch yourself getting up in the emotions, and we are humans, we're spiritual beings having a human nature. This is what we do. We have those emotional reactions. It's a good idea to check yourself. And since it's hard to do when you're caught up in the emotion, that's why you want to do the work before. All right. Weed your garden. Weed your garden. Find out what you're talking about with people. Like if you're just making basic conversation, Are you talking about stuff you want in your consciousness? Or are you talking about stuff you don't? Because you're planting it deeper and deeper when you do. So there's a difference between discussing a situation that you want to fix and complaining about a situation. Okay? If you are complaining about a situation, you are planting seeds of weeds that you don't want. Now, if you are discussing a situation that and aligning with the principles to fix it, then you are planting seeds that will bloom. So, this is what I'm talking about. I'm not that much of a gardener, but my dad was an excellent, he grew flowers like nobody's business. He probably still does. I just haven't been home to his house in a while. So, I don't know what he's growing right now, but he could grow gardens like nobody. And that's what I'm talking about. And how do you grow really good flower gardens? You weed them, and you weed them a lot. You also feed them, and you feed them a lot, and you feed them good stuff. So check your mental households. All right. Let's see. Instead of accepting and then repressing a negative idea, let's take a good look at it in the first place and make our decision to say no. Just because it comes across our field of vision does not mean we have to accept it. We can look at it and go, no. And as Reverend Marshall liked to say, no is a complete sentence. We don't have to justify why we don't want the idea. We can just simply say no. It does not align with our principles. It does not align with the qualities of God within us. No. All right. And he has the wonderful treatment down here. I know that when I choose to accept and express ideas of good, my life reflects the qualities of God. Therefore, I choose thoughts of peace, joy, harmony, health, abundance, and success. That's what we want to choose. We want to choose the qualities of God. I am filled with peace at all times, waking or sleeping. I experience only the good. Yeah, I know that's a statement because he says we're going to face the unpleasantness of the world. And we have to, because if we don't face it, there's nothing we can do about it. But we don't have to react to it emotionally, and we don't have to take it in and install it in shelves in our own mental household. So I'm going to go back to that sentence that I absolutely loved. Okay? Our first step towards healing this problem is to realize that we cannot avoid being exposed to the unpleasantness in this world, but we need not react to it emotionally or make it part of our mental household. The mission today, should we choose to accept it, is to not react to it emotionally and to not place it in our mental household if it is not something that we would choose. All right. It does not mean that we are not going to face it. It does not mean that we are not going to deal with it, but we are going to deal with it calmly, collectedly, and with no emotion. We are going to remember that all thoughts can be creative, but they do not have to be. And if we are thinking thoughts that are not what we want to create, then we need to make sure that we're not wrapping emotion around them. And two, we need to go, well, where is that coming from? And root that out and throw it off of our shelves. It does not belong in our mental household. And there are a variety of ways that you can do that. Mindfulness, talking to a practitioner, talking to a minister, talking to a really good friend and going, hey, I seem to, and especially somebody that knows you well, they may be able to go back and, that event that happened, there's you can root it out. But it also means you can talk to a licensed therapist, if you have intrusive thoughts, then there may be more that needs to happen about it. And so when you clean your mental household, in whatever way you choose, then you have less concern when you are caught up in your strong emotions. So that's the mission today. When you are facing it, cool, calm, and collected. The 3 C's. You can get emotional later, but make sure that when you are wrapping emotion around thoughts, that they're thoughts you want to create. So that is the mission today. You don't have to install it in your house. Just because somebody gives you a gift doesn't mean you have to accept it. All right. No is a complete sentence. Because sometimes the gifts they give us, Nope, I don't need that in my mental household. Thank you, but no. Thank you, but no. All right. So I can still be polite about it, but I can just go, no. Okay, that is the mission. The other mission is the same mission I give you every day, which is to do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself, whatever it looks like. The suggestions that I always give you: take a deep breath before you speak. Which goes for when you are looking at ideas and going, take that deep breath. Give yourself that moment of pause to think, is this really what I want? It also looks like taking a walk. It looks like taking a nap. It looks like taking the day off. It looks like resting, but all of which self-care. It also looks like making room for joy. No matter what is going on in the world, you deserve joy. And I absolutely encourage you to make room for that, which is where I get the metaphor, because sometimes I mean it literally, and sometimes it's just a metaphor. Eat dessert first. Sometimes it means order the good stuff at the restaurant. Sometimes and when you do, engage all of your senses. Like if you're going to eat dessert first, enjoy everything about it. Enjoy the way it feels in your mouth, the way it smells, the way it tastes, the way it looks. Enjoy everything about it, because I say eat dessert first, but what I mean is don't save the good stuff. All right. There is room for joy in this world. Make sure that you are making room for that. It is one of the qualities of God, after all. Okay. And I encourage you to do it every day. It is a spiritual practice. I encourage you to test it on yourself. You are your own best test subject. You get immediate feedback, but more importantly, you deserve your own love. You deserve your own kindness. You deserve your own compassion. Absolutely. And when you do this, you are meeting the source of your own being. Okay. You are also deliberately connecting to the infinite source of love, kindness, and compassion. So that no matter what happens, you can respond lovingly, kindly, and compassionately to yourself and to anybody else. Because you're going to meet people. You are going to meet people who are having a bad day. And you can respond lovingly, kindly, and compassionately to them. Because you have tapped into that bank. When people are rude to you, when you respond lovingly and kindly and compassionately, you are lessening the rudeness in the world. That's how we create a world that works for everybody. It doesn't mean that we have to sit there and take them being rude. We just respond lovingly, kindly, and compassionately and remove ourselves from the situation. All right. Okay. The other things that I recommend is to do something to engage your mind and your body, whatever that looks like for you today. I encourage you to drink plenty of water. Hydration is super important. I'm a big believer in it. I encourage you to get early in your day bright light. I talk about circadian rhythms. We have a natural 24-hour hormone balance. And there are a lot of hormones in there. And they're all connected. And when we start our day with early light, the sun was up this morning, so I got that face full of sun, which is always a good thing. It helps to reset those hormones. It helps to reset that natural circadian rhythm. You will have more energy during the day. You will sleep better at night. You will feel better. And it's just one thing that you can do. Bright light early in the morning. The sun is the best, but if not, you know what? There's ways you can do it. They're called light boxes. Look them up. So, it is science. You can look it up, as I like to say. And then, in the words of Ernest Holmes, open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you, you do live in heaven, right here, right now. It is all around us all the time. When we learn that heaven is a state of mind, when we learn that heaven is a state of consciousness, we discover that heaven ceases to be a place and can become any place. All right? Because we create it for ourselves. It truly is a superpower, but it is a superpower that each and every one of us are born with. And it's just a matter of learning who we are, which is children of God. spiritual beings having a human experience. When we know that, because really honestly, the first time you create it, you make a path. And each time you do it again, you make that path wider. And you shine your light brighter. I can't walk a path for somebody else, but what I can do is hold up my light so somebody else can see their path. And that is how we go to creating a world that works for everybody. By making it work for us. Learning how to create that state of mind, how to create that consciousness, and realizing that, yeah, there is unpleasantness in the world, but on the whole, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. All right. And you can always take Emma's advice. Look for the good, praise it. That is fantastic. That is fantastic. That's a good way to get to heaven. Look for the good. Gratitude will get you everywhere. Okay. I think I'm at the social media part. We are Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark. I'm the running Rev Ryan on the social medias that I am on. Please feel free to go like, share, subscribe. I got to get that YouTube link shared because Cleo was good. But I knew she was going to be good because I remember the first one. She's amazing. If you want to know what's going on, please email info@creativelife.org. That we use a constant contact. In the constant contact, the hot links are hot. If it says click here now, it'll either take you right to the information you want or to the person that can help you get it. So please avail yourself of that. There's always all kinds of good stuff in that constant contact. All right. So I'm at the portion to remind you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanting day, an enchanted day, a wonder-filled day, an awesome day, it's a whole lot cooler today day. It's a, hey, I get bookshelves today. I'm very excited about that. You never know what good's coming into your life, and that's mine today. So, a good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day because you are enough just as you are. You are a beloved child of God. You are a divine spark. You are a brilliant light. You are spirit in action. You are God in motion. You are a godling in whom God is well pleased and well represented. Good morning, Gabby. Always. All right. I know who you are. This is the space that I hold. I have faith. So, investigate who you are at the deepest levels of yourself. I believe that you will be pleasantly surprised. Always. Okay. So I'm going to remind you that Reverend David will be on around 5 p.m. with you on Facebook Live. I'll be back with you around 9 a.m. again on Facebook Live, in case you're watching this on YouTube. And have a great day. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved, and I will see you next time.